So we're roughly 2 weeks into the league. Has it been 2 full weeks yet? Not even 2 weeks. And my character is honestly absolutely obscene. So this is the current state of the character. We have crafted the Giga Axe, as you may have seen. This can be divined up close to 1200, but I already divined it enough and it got really expensive, so I stopped there. I guess I'll just go over the numbers more than the actual individual pieces, and I'll mention some of the changes. So currently we're rocking 10 mil bleed. This is a bit less than I would have liked. I'd have to double check the league stat POB, but the main difference is some of the mostly some of the rings are lacking damage, and so that's missing maybe 20% damage there. And then there's maybe an odd piece here and there of dot multi or maybe jewels or whatever it might be. I kind of prioritize more attack speed as well. I have like really good attack speed if I've killed recently, as you can see. So the build feels really smooth. Ultimately, I ended up going for a really smooth version of the build. But yeah, we have transitioned into double cluster suppression setup. So you can see we actually have got 100% suppression, 90 max res, capped chaos res. I'm immune to ignite, freeze, chill. I have something like 90-something% shock reduction. I've got Relicash for dealing with bleeds. I can get remove damaging ailments as well to remove bleeds and poisons. Very honestly, just a beautifully smooth character. Today we also did all 7 Ubers deathless, Simulacrum deathless, like everything deathless. Like it's a very good build. Defiance of Destiny just made this character like obscenely tanky, absolutely obscenely tanky. Because you can see we got the massive max hit combined with Defiance of Destiny. It's just very strong. Maven not death. That wasn't my Maven. That was somebody's bricked Maven. My Ubers were all deathless. Anyway, whatever. Washed? Dude, the entire arena was literally filled with degen. Anyway, so I'm gonna talk about some of the changes we made. Now, these weren't necessarily changes, more like I didn't share it in POB because I knew people would fucking buy it for fucking ridiculous amounts of currency. So yeah, some of the changes we made, we have a Sublime Vision with Pride. This gives me a ton of extra damage. I'll just show you. It gives me 10% more damage for one jewel spot, and it gives me Explode. So the build just maps like so nice now. Just pops the entire screen. So that's amazing. And we also have got the Perendus Pack Jewel, well, it's called Light of the Meaning now, with Fizz, and this is giving me 22% more damage. And combining this, the Fizz clusters, and the Sublime Vision, my pops are girthy. Like, these are massive pops. So, got that. It's like Little Bleed Glad kind of vibes with all the Fizz damage scaling we got, so that's amazing. And then, as you can see, we got the Giga Armor. I did also change the cluster. So I went for a Warning Call Mob Mentality setup, ditching the Permanent Onslaught. Now, I have Hatchet Master anointed instead of Endurance. This is more of a softcore take, but Hatchet Master gives you lots of damage, lots of attack speed, Onslaught on kill, and it allows you to replace your Onslaught with Warning Call, and this node here gives me 20,000 armor. So I ultimately ended up going for this instead, using Reforged Defense, and then Hatchet Master on the Anoint. So I'm missing 1 Endurance charge now compared to the original POB, but it does feel really nice. And then obviously this is also an update to the POB. I didn't know this, nobody could have really guessed this, but max res went to 2. It didn't go to 1 like we thought it was going to go to, it went to 2. So instead of having 5 of these, now we only need 3, and then that gives us the extra max res, so I've managed to drop max res on the tree and still be 90. So that's beautiful. And then, now this is because it's ultimately just very hard to fit in, but we have a Green Nightmare, which is giving us, with these tattoos, it's giving us something like 28 or something, I'd have to double check, but 20-something% suppression, which is allowing me to have no suppression on my gloves and a crafted suppression roll on the chest. I would love to drop this, because it's 3 points that I don't technically need, which I could put into more damage. That's kind of why I have less damage as well, is because of this setup. But it does make the gear so free, like it's so easy. Now, also, as an update, we knew this was going to be in the game, but we didn't know the values. But I have 25% aggravate bleed on the target. So remember how some of you might have been skeptical, like, is he actually going to be able to aggravate targets? Well, with the 25% here, right? With the enhanced setup we have with the vulnerability, where is it? Over here, right? We have 25 there, 22 there. We have 20% from the Warcry and 10% from the Notable. I have 77 aggravate per attack. 77. And remember, I also have more attack speed than the other POB because I got attack speed roll on my axe. So the aggravate was completely a non-issue. It was super omega free. It's super easy to aggravate targets. Like no drama there at all. So that just feels beautifully smooth. It's not as smooth as a Glad with the aggravate node, but it's really quite close actually. Again, because that aggravate value is so high, it takes 2 attacks to easily aggravate, so it's very easy. So I'm aggravating bleeding targets basically 1 second. I hit, boom. So very simple. What else should I show off? Now this is also Bentech. I might have mentioned this on stream, but maybe not in the original video. But Brinkmanship gives you 40% AoE. Now, you don't need this. You already do get AoE here and there from Fist of War and Seismic. But this does give it just makes it pop even more. Like you can see in game with the AoE I have now, if we go over here. You can see from the waypoint, boom. Like it goes so far. Like actually going off screen from this angle. Yeah, so the AoE is just massive, and combine that with the Explodey, it's just so good. The build feels so good to play. Now, one more thing I'd like to mention as well. So, because we found Gold Find Effects, Magic Find Effects Gold, we've actually opted for a bit of rarity on the build too. So I have this crazy Magic Find ring that we made with the Calandra's Mist, or the Reflecting Mist. I'll just submit a 12-hour VOD ulti. I won. Holy shit! Oh. Yo. What's the downside? The downside's on this ring instead. And this ring gives me 119 rarity, and then combine that with a gold flask for another 60 or so. That's giving me enough rarity that I'm really getting like a noticeable amount more gold per map. So that feels beautiful. And so I'm just replacing the basalt when I'm not bossing, basically. Otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, we like I said, pretty similar to the POB that we set out to make. Like I said, got 10 mil. I can up tank to Uber Shaper Slams. I can gobble Exile Balls a little bit. Honestly, very tanky character. Now, full transparency here. I do die a lot still, but don't be worried. Don't really die during Ubers. I'm dying during tier 17s. Tier 17s are dummy thick, right? When you have map effect doubling the mods, there's mods that, for example, there's 100% less defense. There's mods that give minus 40 max resistance. There's mods with 30% pen, 400% extra fizz as Ellie, stuff like that. Awakener's Desolation.
Now.
All these mods are just so stupidly overtuned that even a character like this gets completely farmed. I don't fail them, by the way. I just want to say this. I don't fail the tier 17 maps, but I do die. I absolutely still die. It's, yeah. Honestly, tier 17s are just completely overtuned still. Not the, not baseline. I will say, tier 17's baseline are not that bad. Like, if you're running, the Bisection Scarab, I'll just show you real quick what that is. So if you're running Scarab Bisection, if you're rolling them really safe with a lot of Chaos Orbs, if you're running very safe, like no map effect, it's fine. But if you're doing full, like if you're doing an atlas like mine, right? I'll show you my atlas. So you can see we've got every single source of map effect in the game, like everything, fully juiced, right? We've got Wrath of the Cosmos, Influence pack size, like everything, like full juiced. Maps with this are brutal. Like, and again, we're prioritizing loot, so I'm not necessarily running Scarab Bisection. So I'll be running like some pretty ridiculous maps, right? Like this is a map I would run. You know, this map would have something like guaranteed crits, double monster damage, 400% fizzes extra, meteors. Like a map like this is going to kill me, but I can clear it. It's just gonna be a few deaths here and there. So even a character, again, even a character this good is still gonna die if you juice them hard enough. It is what it is. So you juice hard enough and you're gonna die. You're gonna die, right? It is what it is. Yeah, anyway, I'll make sure Toad has this POB. I'll link it in chat now if you guys want to look at it. I'll make sure it's root proof as well. I'll turn off Molten Shell and I'll turn off Flasks just to make it root proof. Because even without Flask Tick, it's insane. So I guess in terms of what next for the build, I may try to get better suppression and rings. That would allow me to drop, you see I got a bunch of Dex and Int on the build, and I've got this suppression jewel, so I can save 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points, opt that in for more damage, and then I can get dot multi on my rings. That will give me something like 50% more damage, which would put me at, I mean, that would be beautiful. But that's gonna cost hundreds of divines. Like, we're talking like, what, 300 divines probably to finish the character? Which I think I will do. I think I will, because this character is just so nice to play. But, yeah. I definitely underestimated how expensive you can put, like, you can put a lot of money into this build. Like, a lot of money into this build. How lucky did you get with your ring, by the way? I'm pretty sure my ring would be worth a lot on softcore trade. How much do you think this ring's worth on softcore trade? I really genuinely think this is, like, one of the best items I've ever made in the entire game. I genuinely think this is like, I don't know if I want to say like a number, but maybe like 10D. No, I'm pretty sure this ring and this patch is like one of the most expensive things in the entire game, for real though. So this ring has minus lightning res, minus attributes, minus mana, and it's 50D. This is the closest to my ring so far, and it's 100 divines. But it has a lower life roll and minus attributes instead of positive mana and positive res. This ring has literally nothing good on it except for the rarity. This ring also has too many negatives, including additional mana costs. Yeah, minus lightning is a positive. Yeah. But it only on Doyani. Compare that to this build. This ring is just good for every build. And I would be saying this is like the best item I've found in the league so far.